What's up everyone, welcome to Kai's channel. Today we'll be reviewing this, the long-awaited Launcher Striker pack. So my first impression when I received it is that this is a lot bigger than I thought, because in my mind, I would think that this option set would be the same or similar size as the Camouflage option set, since this actually contains only the shoulder part and also the cannons only. So why does it have to be this big? So in order to find out, let's get started. So coming right out of the box is the first layer. The first layer is basically everything that you can put onto the strike to form the Launcher Striker. As you can see at the bottom, it's the launcher itself. Then starting on the left, at the bottom, you have it's the Launcher Striker backpack, and above that, it's the exclusive backpack that you can equip onto the red frame so that the red frame can equip all these strike backpacks that there is. Now originally this piece is the red frame alternative exclusive that it didn't came with the previous red frame. So with this coming out on this set, which means that you can equip the Launcher Striker backpack onto the older red frame that it came out before, and not just the alternative version. So that's really thoughtful from Bandai itself, especially for those who actually kept the old red frame and did not get the alternative version. As to next to it, there's actually the arms that connects to the cannon onto the backpack. And in the center, those are the different handles that you can equip onto the cannons. And then near to the right, you have is the shoulder parts. And next to that are the shields that you can equip onto the shoulder part. And to the far right, starting from the top, you have are the two beam saber handles, which the beam's effects is on the left corner. And then underneath the beam saber handle, you have are these two, which I believe are missiles. Moving on, we have is the second layer. Now the second layer is pretty simple. You got all these pieces that are in gray, and these pieces would combine into a stand for the Launcher Strike parts. Alright, let's take them out of the box and go through them one by one. So here we have are the accessories lined up right in front of you, ready to be put onto the strike. Now with this laid out, you can actually see that there's actually really not much to it. You got the cannon, you got the shoulder part, you got the backpack, and then the missiles as well as the beam saber, and that's it. So we're gonna go through the colorings on each and every one of them, and then we're gonna put it onto the strike to show you the gimmicks, what it's included in them. So starting with the shoulder part, you can see right in front of you, it's the barrel of the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun is actually a lot longer on the barrel than as I recall from the anime. And it's actually painted in a very dark silver color, but shines very well to contrast with the rest of the parts. And then behind it, you can see that there's this bright metallic orange that's also on the side of the shield, the top part, and also the bottom part. And then for the rest of the parts, you have it's actually two tones of green, a darker green and a lighter green. That's very similar to the military camouflage color, and both of them are metallic. And then you got some finer parts that's in red, such as the very front part, the two circle that's in red, that's a plastic red. And then at the back, there is some finer parts which is colored in metallic color as well, such as the metallic gold and also the metallic silver. Not to mention that the bullets belt right on the side of the back, it's in metallic red, very dark metallic red, which you cannot really tell when you're far. And on the side of the shield, there's actually the decals that says the Launcher Strike, and then SPS, which stands for Striker Pack System. And on the inner side, it's actually colored in metallic color as well, very detailedly. So they didn't just give us a very nice front, but they also give us a very nice inner coloring as well, which is really nice. So next we have is the backpack. The backpack is actually pretty simple. You have on the sides are the two metallic black, and then at the bottom, you can see that there's the metallic light green cover that's right there. And then in the centerpiece, you have it's the light green as the majority of the color, with the metallic dark green as one of the parts, and then you have the red for the bullet belts. And then at the top, you have is the bright gold, that's for the exhaust. So next we have is the actual launcher. Other than the handles that we put on, that's plastic. The rest of them it's still metallic color. You have the majority of them is the light metallic green, and then you have some of the minor parts are the metallic dark green, which the contrast looks really nice. And at the back of the Canon, you can see that there's the white part, which is a matte white, connecting to a metallic black part, then to the rest of the Canon. Now for the front piece, near the barrel, you can see that there's actually a silver part there that's colored really nicely. However, what I did notice is that, as you can see on the metallic orange on the top of the scope and also near the front, the coloring of that is actually not painted really great. And what I meant by that is that if you look close enough, the orange, it's actually not mixed it really well. You got some parts that's really distinctively in orange, but then other parts are a lot more pale. And it's not mixed well enough like you see on the shoulder part it's completely metallic orange, no matter how you see it. Those two pieces looks more like a gradient than it is a complete metallic orange. So definitely they can improve on there. And aside from that, you can see that there's the decal that's similar with the shield. It says the launcher strike and then the SPS right there as well. So next we have is the missiles. The missiles, it's actually overall in the color, it's a very dark turquoise color. And then you have on the warhead, it's a very dark red. And then you can see that there's a little red decal that's cautions that's pointing to the thruster, which the thruster itself, it's colored in a metallic orange color. And last is the beam saber handle. Now this beam saber handle is completely different from what we've been used to. We usually have this really round circle that's completely white. And here we have is a oval shape. You have the tip of the beam saber and also a partial of it, it's gray. And then the rest of it, it's white. Now, none of these are metallic color, they're both like plastic color. However, they're very, very different from our usual beam saber handles, which they have took a complete new design to it, and I actually like it a lot. So, let's put all these together and then put it on the strike and see how it is. So here you have, it's now the assembled Launcher Strike Gundam. Now all the parts is actually really easy to assemble, such as the shoulder, you just put on the missiles and also the beam saber handle, and then you just put it on top of the shoulder and that's it. There's no gimmicks on that one. All you have to do is just put it on top and then it clicks on. Really easy. Same goes for the backpack. The backpack you clip it on. But what you have to do is that you have to connect the arms to the cannon and also to the backpack. And how you do that is to remove the little green cover that's on the side, pull that out, and then connect the movable arm onto the backpack. Very simple. But just a note is that you have to make sure you don't lose that little green cover piece because there's no extras for it. Now there is something actually pretty unique. The cover that was just mentioned that you can take out to connect the movable joints. Both sides, the cover you can pull it out and you can connect the two joints onto it as you like. So what this means is that if you actually own two sets of this Launcher Strike, you can technically put two of the cannons onto the backpack to make it look even better. Unfortunately, I do not have two sets of this, so I cannot show you what I meant by that. But if anyone actually did purchase it, do share with me because I want to see it. Is it as cool as I imagine it to be? So, as for the gimmicks, obviously the shield on the shoulder parts, that can turn. Both pieces can actually turn in a pretty good angle. And then you have the Gatling barrel section. Although the turning isn't really well, it still does turn. And then obviously you have the beam saber handles underneath that you can actually turn it out. And then as for the cannon, this is where it gets interesting. Now the cannon at the back, you can actually flip out the white part to reveal the inner section of the battery. Not only that, but the connecting parts of the white section, you can actually flip it open and then you can completely dislocate the entire battery pack out of the cannon, which is very interesting. But that's not all. The cannon itself can actually be extended by pulling the front barrel section out into 3 different sections, making it even looks cooler. And you can see the inner details within the barrel that has all the silver and gold inside to it to make it look absolutely beautiful. So just the cannon itself has a lot of gimmicks to it. Bandai did a really good job on that. And maybe that's why this set actually cost this much. So that's basically it for this set. Or is it? There's actually more to it to this set than you think it is. The side shield on the shoulder, those 2 pieces can actually be taken out and then combine it as one single piece to act as a shield. And then you connect to this joint that comes with the Strike Gundam and you can mount it onto the arm to act as a shield, which is really unique. So what happened to the holes that's been left on the shoulder parts? Well, this set does come with two other pieces that you can cover it up when you're not using it. But again, these two pieces are the only piece, they don't come in spares, so just make sure that you don't lose these pieces as well. Next we have is the base stand. Now the base stand is actually very simple. You got this entire gray parts that you can combine into what you see in front of you, and it actually looks pretty weird, but it actually does the job. You can see that little arms that's like a T on the side. That's for you to put on the parts, the shoulder part, and also the backpack onto it. And the thing you see is sticking out sideways, that is actually for putting the IO Striker backpack onto it. And you probably think it's weird, how come we see this incomplete set? And that's because we're actually missing the other half, which it will come with the Sword Striker backpack. Not only that, but this base can actually attach onto the Strike Gundam's base to make it as a whole. However, if you actually put it onto it and attach it, you'll find that the Strike Gundam base, where there's the bigger hole for the original arms, that hole is covered now and you cannot use that anymore, which I believe it's unfortunate. So next we're going to put these parts onto the red frame and see how it is. So here it is, the launcher pack on the red frame. Now I'm using the alternative version right now, and you can see that it can be encrypted onto it perfectly fine. But I must have to say that it actually looks very weird. Now there's nothing wrong with the Canon itself, I think it absolutely looks perfectly fine and it looks cool that way. However, the shoulder part and the way they put it, it looks very weird. And it's almost like they don't have any idea on how to put it and they just throw a connecting arm and just connect it to the backpack and say, hey look, we're done, and just send it out. So I really don't like how they connect the shoulder part onto it. I believe, like many of you, I thought the shoulder parts can actually be put on the shoulder. Since if you remember when I did the review of the red frame, the top shoulder part can actually be removed for a special purpose, which many of us believe that it was for connecting the strike shoulder parts. But in this case, it is not. I've tried to put it onto it and it just doesn't work. The connecting parts are totally different and there's no way that you can put the shoulder parts onto the shoulder. And the only way to do it is through this arm connecting the backpack, which is a big disappointment to me. So as for conclusion, what do I think about this piece? This piece is actually really great. The coloring is done very well, and then also the gimmicks that's mounted into the shoulder and also onto the Canon itself, it's absolutely fantastic. Like the Canons, it can actually extend it out into 3 different sections, and also the details inside is very detailed. The battery at the back can also be detached, that's also very nice, and then it can open revealing the inside. Shoulder section, never expected it for it to detach the shield pieces and combine into one single shield and then mount it to the arms. That was totally unexpected and very nice on the designer part. As for is there any issue? Yes, there's some minor issues such as the metallic orange on the Canon is not very well balanced, and also the connecting parts between the movable arms and also the backpack, it's very tight. Now these two aren't issues that I would think that can decrease in points for this pack itself. However, it's just something that you should take note of. So with that, I would actually give this piece, the option set itself, a 10 out of 10 just because it's actually done very well. And I do recommend you guys to go and grab it if you haven't. Now I do kind of regret it I didn't purchase 2 of it instead of 1 so that I can actually show you guys how it would look like when there's 2 Canon mounted onto the strike. So that's it. Hope you guys liked the video and find it useful. Do support me by hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.